Hello everyone, in this video I will introduce you to how to connect the SC100 to the Tuya system. Here, I will introduce you to the configuration and operations that need to be performed on the Tuya app and our smart controller software. In this video, I will introduce each process in detail, from wiring to adjustment. First, the Tuya system. We will use Tuya's lightbox set, which include Tuya Zigbee wired gateway, downlight lights, LED strip lights, control panel, automatic curtain, mate-dock model of TYZ. TYZ for connecting the BGSC100 to the Tuya Intelligent. It used the USB to Type-C conversion method to connect the wires. Type-C is plugged into the Z. USB will be plugged into the USB port of the SC100 smart controller. When plugged in for the first time, the green light will flash slowly. Now we need to set it up in Tuya app. On the Tuya app homepage, the first step is to find and add the Tuya Zigbee wired gateway. Click on the plus sign in the top right corner and click on Add Device. After clicking to add a device, the device here will switch to automatic search mode. Bluetooth needs to be switched on and connected to a 2.4G network before adding a device. Now that we have found the Tuya Zigbee wired gateway, click Add Tuya Zigbee wired gateway. After adding, we need to add other devices under Tuya Zigbee wired gateway. Before adding other equipment, you need to know how it is distributed to the network. For example, control panel, curtain motor, and some lights. After entering the network pairing status, we click on to search. A total of 7 devices were searched, 3 downlight lights, 2 LED strip lights, 1 control panel, 1 curtain motor. Then click on Finish. After the control device is added, then go back to the main screen and continue adding TYZ. First open the Smart Controller software, then add the Smart Controller host. Right-click on the module management and click on Add. Double-click DRX driver. At last click on Save. After saving, we double-click on the added DRX driver. Right-click in the blank space, select Cloud Driver Library. Click on New. Select the TYZ model in the driver library. Click on Download. Click on Save, and deploy this DRX driver to the server. Each time we deploy the DRX driver, it will automatically restart the server. We select Yes, and wait for the server to restart. The server has now been restarted. Double-click on the Smart Controller serial number, click to log in, and then double-click on the DRX controller of TYZ. Here you can see the event list. Right-click Enter Pairing Mode, click Execute. Mate-dock enters network pairing mode and indicator fast flash mode. Then we can search for TYZ on the Tuya app. After receiving, we click on Next. Now that all the devices have been added, let's start setting up the scene. Click on Scene. There are 2 interfaces, Automation and Tap to Run. First, click Tap to Run. Click on Create Scene. Then click Plus. Click Control Single Device. Click Mate-dock. Click Message Push. Click Room On. Click Save and name it according to the scene name. This setup is complete. Next, add all the scenes we want to match. Now added all these for initial scenes. Click once on these scene icons on the Tuya app and send a signal to the server. When the server receives this signal, it will perform a scene. After we add the configuration of the server scene, the SC100 central control server also needs to be configured. I have successfully added a few devices. Then, we double-click on the SSE. There is currently no scene data. Click on the wizard. I previously dragged the device into here. Next I will talk about how to trigger Tuya scene. Click DRX event. In the DRX event, we choose the Smatter controller. Select the MateDock module in the DRX 1.0 driver. First is receive message, entering scene. Entering the scene is set above the control center. Then watching a movie. Placed on the playback device. Karaoke, choose the music playback source. Then leave. Leave is set on the display device, because when watching movies or entertainment, the lighting equipment will always be on. These trigger conditions are attached to the corresponding scenes. Next, these two are remote control triggers. Select these scenes from Tuya. After the smart controller receives this notification, it will form a corresponding scene. After clicking on Generate Scenarios, can get Enter Scene, Exit Scene, Watch Movie and Karaoke Scene. Click Enter Scene. Here there is our One Tuya module to accepting leaving the scene. This received message and leaving scene message are sent from Tuya. This has already been set up here. An activation between Tuya and the smart controller. Tuya Automation Configuration. Click Automation. Click Create Scene. Click When Device Status Changes. Click MateDock. Click Message Push. Click Room On. Set up the manual lighting. Click Add. Choose Control Single Device. Set the lights according to the desired scene. For example, we are currently in the lighting scene. Entering the scene will turn on all the lights. Then add all the lights. After adding the lights, it is also possible to set the opening or closing of curtains. Then click on Save. Enter the corresponding scene name. A scene light automation has been set up have been complete. Next we perform the corresponding operations. Usually when we are watching a movie, the light will be relatively dim. If you want to leave the room at this time, it is best to turn on the lights first. Then wait for the people in the room to leave the movie theater. Then the lights will dim gradually according to a preset delay. Then, here we need to add a delay. Here I set it to 30 seconds. This means the lights will turn off after 30 seconds. Then click on Save. Enter the corresponding scene name. Next we continue to do other scenes. we have completed the install of for automation scene. Next, set up the buttons on the control panel. Click the plus sign in the top right corner and select the control panel. Select the corresponding button to set the scene that we need to open. Select the light scene. Other buttons will perform the corresponding operations. The same goes for other keys. The Tuya app has been installed. Below we need to set up the light scene on the control software. Here I will talk about how to set up the light scene on the control software. Right-click on the blank space to add a scene. Then select the icon. Select the light icon. Here enter the name of the scene we need to perform. For example, entering and exiting the scene, watching a movie and karaoke, etc. After entering the name, we need to add an action to perform. In this place, we choose the device action. Click Smart AV. Click DRX 1.0. Click Make Dock. Then select Leave Scene Message. Drag it into the Action to Perform section. And then click Save. The light scene leaving the scene has been set up. Next, we will perform the same operation for the entering the scene light scene, the watching movie light scene and the karaoke light scene. The light scenes have been set up. Next, we need to link them to our devices. Click SSE. I have added the trigger, but I have not added the scene link. This link section is still blank. We need to link the light scenes that we just set up here. After linking is complete, we click on Generate Scenarios. We can see that in the leave action performed, there is the leave light command that we just added. We can see that the leave light command that we just added has appeared in the leave action performed. After creating the scene, we need to deploy it to the server. After this step is completed, we also need to upload it to the cloud. After the data synchronization is complete, the connection of the central system to the Tuya system is complete. Next, we need to perform some light-on tests through the Tuya app. After completing the operations, we will proceed to check whether the light scenes are controllable. Now, we click on Enter on the Tuya app. You will see that the lights are on and the curtains are open. Next, we click on Movie. Good, you have confirmed that the Tuya app can control the light scenes. Now, click on Enter. Then, switch to movie mode. You will see that the remote control is also working to control the light scenes. Next, we will test whether the switch panel we just set up can control the light scenes. Start by clicking on Enter. Then, switch to movie mode. After switch to leave mode. We have successfully tested the light scenes with the switch panel and remote control, and confirmed that the light scenes are all well controlled. That's a successful demo for integrating SC100 into the Tuya system.